So firstly, thank you very much for South Westminster BIDs to have me in funding this workshop today. We are going to talk about sustainable Christmas. I am Maud Barrett, and I co-run a small social enterprise, a non-for-profit social enterprise called Sunny Jar Eco Hub. And our aim is to make low waste and sustainable living easy and accessible for everyone. So we teach practical skills, practical workshops all around London. We're based in Tower Hamlets, but we now with the digital age, we're working everywhere and online mostly at the moment, as you can imagine. We teach things like how to make your cleaning products or your own beauty products, anything that can help you to actually reduce waste practically and from home in a cheap and affordable way, accessible way. So that's what we do. And for Christmas, of course, we are very excited to show you ideas and tips to reduce waste during Christmas. Because Christmas, as you probably know already, is extremely wasteful time, and it's bringing a lot of waste onto the scale of our, of the UK and the world generally. And something to say this year particularly is the fact that we are probably not going to shop as we normally do in shops face to face. So we are going to order more online, and that also, of course, creates a massive amount of waste from packagings. And also emissions, carbon emissions, of course. So that's really important to do our bits to try little things from home. I hope pleasurable. So I really love living low waste. For me, it's something that has been bringing a lot of joy in my life, in my family life as well. So I hope that I can inspire you, to change small things and to adopt more sustainable habits this Christmas. So I'm going to start straight away with our baubles and talk a bit about decoration, because the bauble is quite not a long process, but it is a process, and you will be making your baubles while I'm telling you a bit more about the ideas of what you can do to reduce your waste. So I'm going to straight away get you started with our paper bauble. So just so you know, the agenda for today is bauble making. So we're making a card bauble. I'm going to show you other ideas for other kind of homemade decorations or sustainable decorations while you're doing your bauble. After that, we will straight away go to making plastic-free crackers. So that's also a little DIY, very easy and very cool, that I hope you will enjoy. And after the crackers, I will show you we will talk wrapping, we'll talk presents, we'll talk wrapping, and I will do a demonstration of how to wrap your present with fabric, which is called furoshiki. It's a lovely Japanese tradition that I want to share with you. So let's get started with the bauble straight away. So I'm going to put the camera on the table so you can see what I'm doing. So for this bauble, you can see in the chat, if you haven't have your things ready, what you need. So you will need a pair of scissors, some cards. So I'm using things like old Christmas cards, flyers. You don't want something too thin, but like a medium weight card or flyer is perfect. I've got a lot of flyers that I found that kind of like out of date flyers from a community venue. So anything that you have like this will be perfect, and you can be a bit specific about like color scheme. So, if you have decoration this year in the red, maybe just select things with red, but you can also be a bit random. So this one is definitely very random. Depends of, what you like and what your Christmas decoration style is. You will need some glue. So either some liquid glue or glue stick, anything like that kind of craft glue will work. You will need a small piece of string to attach your bauble. You will need, so this is not, this is optional, but that really helps. If you have any pegs or some metal, sorry, let me show you. Some paper clips like this. That really helps to kind of like keep the bauble together while it's drying. So if you don't have, I'm sure you will be I've managed without, but they're quite good thing to have. Yes, and the template. So the template, so what we're using, so I've attached the link to the template, but you can easily make your template yourself. So you can use like any kind of round, circular kind of like shape, and you can make your circle shape with that, or use the template I've provided on the link. And basically what we want to create is some circles. Let me show you. So you want 20 circles of cards. So to cut those, if you're specific with the colors, you might want to, you know, specifically look for things to place your template on and to trace your circle and cut it out. Or if you're not so specific, you can take like a pile of paper, like a flyer or something like pile the paper, and then, you know, you can cut more than one at a time. So that might save you some time as well. So it's up to you. You can do whatever suits you. And so the idea is to pick your first piece and use that to trace your circles. And you need 20, quite precise. Try to be as neat as possible because that's going to make a nicer bubble. Although I'm not the most precise person, so that was made with my son, not very precisely, and we managed to make it all right. So don't worry too much. And then you also need a triangle template, but you can create it. So the triangle is the way we fold our circles, and that's what's going to give our shape, the shape of our bubble, and that's how we're going to glue the bubble together. So basically, the triangle is a triangle that fits perfectly inside the circle. So if you don't have the template, you can make it by just trying to have a go at folding the circle. So you've got 3 sides that are exactly the same. So you've got an equilateral triangle fitting in your circle. So like so. There you go. But if you have like that little template of triangle, that's helpful. You can put it in the middle and kind of like fold your circle using that. So you put your triangle in the middle of your circle, and then you use it to guide you to fold. That's it, to fold your kind of triangle sides. There you go, and you keep going. So that's going to take you a little bit of time. So cutting your circles and then folding your triangle. And the way the bubble is put together, so you understand why you're doing those steps, is by gluing the sides of your triangle together. So you've got 2 like that. You put a little bit of glue on the side, on one of the side, and then you attach them together. You attach it to another side of another circle. So here, and you will see why I find the clips useful. So I'm putting a clip now just to keep it together. So then I can attach another one without worry too much that it's not quite dry and it's not moving around. So then you keep attaching your things. So I'm going to show you straight away kind of like the first assemblage step. So if you are quick to do that, you can do it straight away. So what we aim, our aim is to create a top and a bottom that looks like this. Let me show you that. So I've put the string directly on this one. Here you go. So this is the bottom, for example, and this is the top. And those are made with 5 shapes put together. So this is the first step. This is what we're going to do first. You're going to do that twice for the top and the bottom. 5 circles folded with the triangle put together, and that's going to create the top and the bottom. So I'll let you get on with this. If you have any questions about these first few steps, just let me know now. I'm going to have a check on the chat now to see if everybody is cool. Okay. So please, yeah, don't worry, you can unmute yourself if you just have a question at this stage. And if not, I'll let you get on with this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about other ideas for decorations and actually why we're making decorations, because, you know, it's a good question. So decorations are usually made, you know, quite unsustainably, often in countries like China, in bad conditions, and because they're cheap, they're made out of very cheap plastic. They're absolutely not recyclable. They often break. I've got a few old cheap baubles that were broken when I unpacked them for this year decorations, because, you know, they're just not really made to last. Plus, some of them, a lot of them, have glitters on them. So glitters are really a problem, because glitters make something absolutely not recyclable. You can't recycle glitter at all. And plus, they often come off of the object that they are glued on very easily. And that creates microplastic. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of microplastic, but basically when plastic is in such a small piece that you can't really control it, and it goes everywhere, and it goes in the water, it goes in the ocean, it goes in the soil, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that obviously creates a massive amount of plastic that you can't do nothing about. So it's really quite important to try to not use glitters at all. And if you like glittery thing, you can actually replace it by eco glitters, or they are biodegradable glitters, and they are much more expensive. So you will probably need to use like a very small amount, but they exist. If you have children that are very excited about glitters, I certainly do have a little 4-year-old girl that find it difficult to live without glitters. You can buy a little bit of that and, you know, use it, you know, just use it, not too much, not using too much of it. So I've done some other kind of decoration this year that are quite lovely, and I've used a little bit of eco glitters on them. I've made dry citruses decoration. So I don't know if you ever had a go at that. It's fairly easy to do. I've done an Instagram live. We're quite active on Instagram, and I think last week I did a demonstration of how to make them, and I still have the recording on our Instagram, so you can have a look. But basically, it's all about cutting thin slices of oranges, tangerine, or lemon, even lime, any citruses, and you dry them in an oven at about 100 degrees. For quite a while, you know, about an hour, maybe a bit more if your oven is you know, if it's not too hot. You don't want the oven to be hot, because otherwise you burn them, which I do quite often, so they become quite dark like that, but I quite like them to be dark. But if you want to have one that's transparent, which is beautiful because the light goes through it, yeah, just try to do it for longer, and you know, on a low oven. You can also actually dry them if your house is quite dry, which is not the case here with the rain and stuff. But if your house, you know, your house is quite dry, you can directly put them on a piece of string and hang them in the tree, and they will eventually dry. The great thing about those is that they are completely biodegradable, obviously. They keep really well. So I've got this one for 5 years, so they will, you know, once they're dry, they're perfectly fine to keep. And, you know, and you can, yeah, it's a great thing to explain to the children, you know, what is biodegradable, what is not, and, you know, that you can have things that last quite a long time, but are not made out of plastic. So I really like those. And this year I've made a dried apple. So that hasn't been as successful. I don't think I will be able to keep them for as many years, but they are quite cool looking. And this one is maybe a bit nicer. And what I love about those as well is that they actually smell lovely, so that add an extra, you know, dimension to your decorations. You can also use, you know, cinnamon sticks or pine cones, or any kind of natural thing to add in your Christmas tree, and I find it really pretty. So that's the natural decorations. In terms of like paper decoration, there's so many that you can have a go at doing. If you're crafty, you just look on maybe Pinterest if you're using Pinterest, but Google card or paper decoration, and you can find a lot of tutorials. Last year for workshop, we made those. So those are really probably easier than the one you're making. It's just one shape. So you got many shapes of the same shape. So the shape is that I made like a bubble shape, but you could have any kind of shape, circle or whatever. And you kind of like glue them, you fold them in half and use one half to glue the next one and so on. So you create like almost like a book, you know, and when you have enough of them, there's probably about 20 on this one, you have this lovely three-dimensional bubble. So that's a nice one to have a go. To make. What else did I make? I made, oh yeah, every year with the children we make some little owls. I can't remember where this tradition came from, but we definitely make them every year now. And they're basically loo rolls, very simply folded. So you fold the top to create the kind of the ears. You can make any animals actually like that, any animals with like pointy ears, and then you decorate them. And they're really cool because they kind of sit on your branches. And they're very quite special. You can make Play-Doh or soldo decoration. So this is also like something quite simple that you can make with the family. So it's like salt, water and flour, and you air dry them or dry them slow in the oven, and you can make a bit like a biscuit, like any shape you want, and those last very well, and you can paint them as well, which is really cool. And something else that you can do is revamping your decoration. So if you've got like old decorations that might not be in the color scheme that you like, why not, you know, covering them with like small amounts of paper or wrapping. So that's what I've done with this one. And you create your own unique decorations. And if you're like super crafty and skilled and you sew, you can also have a go at making upcycling fabric decorations. So I don't know if it's for everyone because you need to know how to sew, but they same, you can create really unique decoration, and those make really nice presents as well if you want. So there's a lot of different options, and the internet is brilliant to, you know, have a look at what other people have made and have a go yourself. So let's have a look how everybody is doing. Have you managed to do the first, the top and the bottom? Not yet. It takes quite a long time, so don't worry if you don't have time to finish. As long as you understand how the bubble is made, you know, you'll be able to finish after the workshop. So I want to show you now how it all fit together. So as I mentioned to you before, we are, now let me put you back on the table so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so if you have had the chance to finish your top and your bottom, you should be with those two shapes. It's quite a good time now to place your string, because you can't do it when the bubble is completely finished. So you want to put your string now. So what I've done, I've just put like a piece of string fold in half through the little hole at the top. If you don't have a hole at the top, maybe like push it through with like a pen or something. And then I've just tied a knot, you know, on the other end. So double your string, push the string double through, and then fasten a knot at the end where the two ends meet. And that will give you an attachment for your bubble. And in terms of the way the bubble comes together after that, so top and bottom, now we're going to create the middle piece. So the middle piece is basically you gluing 10, so first 5 circles to the bottom of the shape you just made, of the top or the bottom. I'm going to call it top, and you know what I'm referring to, because they are the same, top and bottom. So you're going to attach this one. Okay, my glue, here you go. So put a bit of glue on one of the side and just attach it to the side of the bottom here. Use a peg or a clip to hold. And then you're going to do that all around. So next one. So that's where the clips come quite handy. Probably handier to have clips than pegs because they're a bit bulky. Attach it. And then you carry on going around until your 5 sides have been attached together. So here you go. And then when you've gone around, you're going to fill the gap here. So that's why it's quite fiddly if you don't have clips, because you have to kind of hold them. Or you can just take your time and let them dry and do the next step after, which is fine as well. So you go around. And then I'm going to show you how to fill the gaps. So the middle piece will be made out of 10 circles. So we've got 20 circles in total, 5 for the top, 5 for the bottom, and then 10 for the middle piece. Okay, so this is kind of our star, and then we're going to fill the middle. So the next 5 circles are going to go in between the one we've just put together. Here we go. So we will send you, if you want, we can send you the tutorial for this bubble, so you can have a, you can check and do it again later. You can send it on the email you booked with. So this is how it goes. So I don't know if you can see. So I've basically filled the gap in between with another one. So then in total, we will have 10 together for the middle piece. Let me do it a little bit more so you can see how it comes together. Once you start gluing them together, I think it makes sense. It's a bit hard to explain, but you need to do it. There you go. So you put the piece in the middle and you attach it to both sides. Okay, so this is how it goes. So are you okay? If anybody has like, is a bit stuck, please unmute yourself and let me know so I can help you. So I'm going to let you get on with this, maybe for another minute. And then I'm going to show you the crackers, how to make the crackers, because it's quite a lot to do. But the crackers, it's quicker. We can do the crackers at the same time. It doesn't require as much cutting and things. So if it's okay, we're going to start the crackers in a minute. So it's quite nice to see in terms of the crackers that some brands and some supermarkets actually have changed their policies, and they have removed glitters, they have removed plastic from their wrappers. So I'm thinking of sorry, I've forgotten now. Sainsbury. Sainsbury was popped in my mind because I just checked again, and they have made a commitment this year. So I think things are happening and changing slowly, which is brilliant. The problem with wrappers generally and crackers particularly is that they're non-recyclable. Basically, the paper is coated, so either coated with glitters or coated with a metallic or a plastic coat, and that makes it completely unrecyclable. So it's a total waste. And it can also make microplastic, because if you have like small bits of this paper, it just easily goes. So that's why making your own crackers is a good idea. Plus, I'm sure you will agree with me, there is so much, you know, there's plastic inside the crackers as well, things that you don't need, small little object that you will keep for less than a second. They're quite infuriating actually for me, because my children again love them so much with passion, and they actually love the small thing inside. So I've been really trying hard to think of an alternative. You know, what could we do to give that, you know, to carry on this tradition, but you know, to make it sustainable. It's all about aligning our values, you know, aligning the tradition with our values, should I say. We'll talk more about that later, but the crackers was definitely on my list of things to change. And yes, there is a way. You can actually make your own crackers. I don't know if you ever tried yourself. There is different ways you can make crackers. You could wrap them in fabric. You could really quickly wrap them with tissue papers. But if you like the very good looking shop boat style crackers, I'm going to show you how we can make one now. So if you put your bubble on the side, I hope by this point that you understand how the bubble is made. Maybe at the end we can go back to it a little bit, and you know, and just make sure that everybody is on board with it. I've packed this session a bit, actually. We could have done just the bubble today, but I want to make sure that you get as many ideas as possible. So let me get started with the crackers. So for the crackers, you will need an A4 piece of paper. So let me put it back on my very messy table. Let me mix it in. There you go. Okay. So you need an A4 piece of paper, or similar in terms of size. If it's a bit bigger, a bit smaller, that won't matter too much. But if you have any kind of machine printing paper, upcycled, even better. If you have any old, you know, A4 flyers or any, you know, paper that was printed but that you don't need, use this, at least for now, so you understand how they've been made, and then you can be more specific about the paper you choose. You will need a pen or pencil, something to mark your paper. You will need a ruler. You will need a piece of tape, or you can also use the glue that you just had. That will work as well. Pair of scissors that you just had. And okay, so you might not have them now, but you can order some crackers bands, you know, like all the snaps. So I actually managed to order some. They came really quickly. They're completely plastic free. They're pretty cheap. Yeah, and you can order them online easily. So if you want your crackers to actually be the real deal, you might want to order them. So I have that. And to make sure that your cracker is, you know, rigid and kind of like keep its shape, you can also add a glue roll in the middle. You don't have to, but I find it easier to make it, and also to put small objects inside if it's what you want to do. So in terms of the small objects, you can make your own crown. So I've made my own crown using some tissue paper. I just glue 2 pieces of tissue paper together. So it's kind of my size. So they're not supposed to be very long lasting anyway, so you might as well upcycle what you have. But they're part of the deal, so we might have to put them in. Again, I like the idea that you can completely reinvent your tradition. You might not want to have a crown because they're ridiculous, or you might want to have them, so it's up to you. And then for putting stuff inside, it's really up to you. I mean, the joke again, I don't think we can do without jokes. So I've got a joke here. I will read it to you after. So you might want to prepare your jokes. And then you can add whatever, like I've got last year a small little thing for my kids from charity shop that I knew there would be like very nice crackers, finger puppets. You know, but that's a bit fancy, but you could put anything like, you know, small bits of stuff that you have around the house that, you know, will make the person happy, or not put anything. You could put like a chocolate or a few sweets, or just a nice note saying that you love the person you give the crackers to. So whatever you want to fill your cracker with, you will want to have that ready. And so let's make the crackers now. So I think I've got everything. So, okay, let me show you the crackers before. So the crackers are like this. So those are exactly what we're going to make. I just used like paper that I had printed stuff flyers on. So that, you know, they're quite simple, but you could use like an old calendar, for example, which would be really pretty with like nice pictures. Yeah, be creative. Think about what you have around that could make a nice cracker. Okay, so to make the crackers, you need to put your piece of A4 paper in front of you in a portrait way, horizontal way. And you want to, if you're using the cardboard roll, you want to put it right in the middle. So you might want to measure or just use your eyes to place it in the middle, like this, horizontal way as well. And then you're going to take your pen. So I'm using like a red pen so you can see where I'm marking, but you just use a pencil. Oh yeah, so quite important, you want to work on the side that is not the pretty side. So you're not marking on the other side. So if you're using like a nice piece of paper with a, you know, like a nice picture or whatever, yeah, just turn it so you're marking on the other side. So you put your roll in the middle and you're going to mark the side of your roll on both sides on your paper. So you create lines like that. After that, you're going to measure from the mark you've just done. So take one mark, one side, and then make a mark at 2 centimeters, and then another mark at 4 centimeters. And you repeat the same process on the other side. So 2 centimeters from the sideline, and then 4 centimeters from the sideline. So now you should have 4 marks on your A4. The low roll mark, and then the 2 centimeter mark and the 4 centimeter mark. So those marks are there to guide you to fold the crackers so we can cut the little triangle that are going to be making it easy and pretty to gather the end of our crackers with a bit of twine. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, sorry, you need a bit of twine as well to put your crackers together, or a ribbon, or anything that you have that, you know, can link. You could use like, I don't know, like an old t-shirt and cut some link out of an old t-shirt, for example. Anything that you have, again, pieces of fabric. They need to be roughly 20 centimeters, so they don't need to be very big at all. So now we're going to do the folding and the cutting of the sides. So you want to use the marks on one side and fold, make a fold at the 4 centimeter mark, and do a fold again. So it doesn't matter where you fold, but you want to be able to see the marking. So just use your finger to mark the fold like this, both folds. So you're going to repeat that on both sides. So fold your paper. So we're folding vertically. We're folding the short side of our A4. And then fold the 4 centimeter mark. Make sure that you mark your fold well, because it's important. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fold the 4 centimeters and keep it folded like this. No, sorry. what am I talking about? You need to fold at your 2 centimeter mark. I'm sorry. So 2 centimeter mark, you keep it folded. So let me stop moving and show you. So you've got your 4 centimeter mark here. And actually you could trace that. So you trace on your fold, on your 4 centimeter fold. I will show you how it looks after. I'll do that on the other side as well. Mark it. So trace a line on your 4 centimeter fold. So you've got line here, line here. And then you fold on the 2 centimeter mark and you keep it folded. So it looks like this. And now I've turned my page, so I'm looking at the picture, or I'm looking at the nice side of the A4. And I folded on the 2 centimeter. And you can see here your mark of the 4 centimeters. And we're going to use that 4 centimeter mark to do the cutting of our gathering triangles. So if I unfold the crackers I've made before, you'll be able to understand what we're trying to achieve. So let me untie this one. Okay. So this is what we're doing. We're going to create some small triangles of some small diamond shape on both sides. And that's what's going to help us create that nice shop-bought cracker style. So let me show you again. We're going to create, cut those diamonds. And now let me show you how we cut those diamonds. So again, you should have the paper folded on one side. And we're going to pick a pair of scissors. And we're going to start. So putting the piece of paper now vertically in front of you with the line, the 4 centimeter line in front of you, you're going to start nipping, cutting 1/2 triangle. You just nip the corner off, let's say. And this is your first cut. So you just nip that little corner. And you have like this, and you just leave it. And then you're going to cut, not a triangle. You don't want to cut at the point. This is really important. You want to cut further along, about 2 millimeters from that first cut. I'm going to show you and it will make more sense. So let me trace it. So you've just cut this, and now your next cut will be 2 millimeters from the point here. So you don't want like a sharp point. You want kind of a blunt, straight point, because otherwise it will not be held together. So you're going to do your second cut few millimeters away. So here, and then you just cut your first triangle off. Here you go. So we remove this, and then again, you don't cut straight here at that point. You do 2 millimeters away, and you cut the next line, the next triangle. So basically, on your 4 centimeter line, you can cut like a sharp triangle, but at the bottom, where it's folded, you don't want to cut close. You want to cut like 2 millimeters away. I hope it makes sense. It's quite hard to explain. Let me show you close, so you can see what I'm doing. So you see here, it's blunt. It's not cut straight. It's kind of like flattened, because when you open it, you get those lozenges. It's like they are held together. Otherwise, the two pieces of paper won't be together. So that's what we do. And the reason we create this is so it's easy to break the crackers, but they kind of hold together. So this is what we're achieving. So then you carry on doing this. If you're not sure, it's maybe easy to use like your pencil to mark the triangle first, so you know what you're doing. I find it definitely easier. So mark your triangles and then cut them out. And you're going to do this for both sides. So it might not be perfect at the end. You might have like a smaller triangle at the end. It doesn't really matter. So cut out your triangles. Just again, making sure that you are leaving a gap at the bottom. So the triangles are, the paper is holding together. Again, do you have any questions? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Just don't hesitate to unmute yourself if you have any question, or to ask me in the chat. So do that, and then do the other side. Let me show you this side first. So you should have this. So once you unfold it, it should look like this. So let me have a look. Yeah, don't hesitate as well to give me to give me a thumbs up if you're happy, if you know what you're doing. Thank you so much. And yeah, and tell me if you don't, because it's one of those things that's a bit hard to explain, but it does make sense when you do it. Once you start doing it. Okay, so you're doing the same thing on the other side. So in terms of the size of the triangle, it's kind of up to you. You can make them like with the base being 1 centimeter wide. That's what I've done. You could make smaller triangle if you wanted to. It's up to you. 1 centimeter is okay. Okay, and once you've cut all your little triangles off, you can turn your A4, your now made crackers, and put it back again on with the nice side facing down. So we are almost ready to roll our crackers now. So I'll let you do it for a teeny bit longer. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you how you prepare the bank. So you might not have some today, but let me show you how I'm doing it. So you want a small piece of tape or a little bit of glue just to attach your crackers inside your roll. So if you're not using a roll, you can attach it directly on your crackers. If you're using like a thicker card, that might be fine. If you're using like a kind of like machine paper, it's probably better to have a roll to keep it nice. So you just, it's a bit fiddly, but you just place small amount of tape in the center on top of your band, so of your snappers, just to keep it together. And at this point as well, you will be putting the little treasure, the little thing that you want inside. So I'm putting my crown, I'm putting my little toy, and I'm going to put a cute heart made out of dry tangerines. Those are so cute. You can use them for decorating your presents with as well. So it's just like a tangerine skin that I cut in shape, and then they're dry, and you can use them to decorate. And I find them really cute. So I'm going to put one inside here. Yes, that's it. And then you place it in the middle of your paper. And then you're going, oh, the joke. Oh my God, I almost forgotten the joke. Hear me. Okay. Oh, so what do you get if Santa forgets to wear his undercrackers? You get Saint Nicholas. I'm sure you know this one. They're rubbish, but we love them. Okay, so I'm putting my joke in the middle. And then you're ready to roll your paper around to create the crackers. So I don't know if there's a really amazing way to do that, but I find that, you know, just placing my fingers on top and gently rolling works okay. So you just want to make sure that you're rolling kind of like parallel, so it's not loop-sided. And then you're going to either put a little bit of glue or again a small amount of tape just to keep the thing together. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of tape. Okay, you need 2 hands to do that. Let me do that again. Cut the tape first. Get the tape ready, and then roll. Okay, let's do that again. So now I've got my tape, and I'm gonna roll. Just make sure that it's nice and tight, and nice and straight. And then roll, and place it in the middle. You might want to put a little 2 more on each side, so your sides are attached as well. That helps. Here we go. And then once you've done this, you're going to use your piece of twines, your 2 pieces of twines to wrap it all together. There you go. So you put it like where your diamond shapes are, and you put your twine and you just gently attach it together, pull, and that bring the 2 pieces to the circle together. That's really neat. So you can do that without creating, you could make a crackers without creating those diamond shapes, but I find them really neat and pretty. So if you like something looking neat, I'm sure you'll be happy. Here you go. And you now have a cracker. And if you wanted to decorate, so let's say that you know, you wanted to make them like individual. You could decorate your piece of paper first. So that makes it easier. So you could like, I don't know, ask your kids to draw on them first and then make the crackers and roll them. Or if you haven't done that, you can write the name or decorate after. It's up to you. But decorate them, decorate the paper first is probably easier if you want to do something a bit special. So I'm just gonna write name. So, okay, this one is going to be for my mum, Sophie. Here we go. And you've got nicely individual, you know, homemade crackers. So I hope it's okay. Let me know if you are good with them. What would be really cool if you can, once you finish making them, if you can tag us in your picture, if you take pictures of them, and if you're on social media, you can tag either Sunny Jericho Hub or Victoria BID or North Bank BID. I will put that in the chat at the end. But that'd be really cool. Oh, well done. Nice, Katie. That's really nice. Yeah, that works really well. That's brilliant. So yeah, thank you. So that's great. And, you know, it takes not much time at all. And what I really love with both making decorations or making crackers or anything that you make actually for Christmas is to make a bit of a party out of it. You know, we've got a few weekends before Christmas, and it would be so nice, you know, we can't go out so much. We might not want to go out so much. So maybe, you know, get the family together and create a bit of an event to make our own decorations, our own crackers. I think it's a really nice thing to do. So yeah, homemade crackers for you. Oh yeah, and you can, I think you can also decorate them with like, you know, I don't know, some leaves or, you know, again, natural decoration that makes them look so unique. So here you go. You've made a cracker. So next, we are going to talk a little bit, not too long, because I do talk too long, about presents and kind of like sustainable presents, and also talking about wrapping. And I will show you different type of wrapping that you can do. So let me have a look. First, if we don't have any questions, if everybody is good. Yeah, so something we haven't really talked about, but I can quickly mention it, is like Christmas trees. So I've read something from The Guardian a few years ago that stayed with me, and I wrote it down because it's completely mind-blowing. That if you put every tree, so that was 1 year, so it was 2013, so it's not recent, but I'm sure it hasn't changed much. But if you put every tree bought for 1 year next to each other, it will be the equivalent of a return trip to New York. I mean, it's just, I don't know, I can't, it's kind of mind-blowing. I really can't think. So trees, trees have a massive impact on the environment. And there is few things that you can do to help. So it's not the most affordable options, but it's something that's more and more available, is renting a tree. So you can rent a tree now from like garden centers. A few farms and garden centers around the country are doing it. And basically what makes it a bit more expensive, that they deliver it to you and they collect it. So basically it comes in soil. So the tree is not cut dead, it's actually a growing tree that you have at home for a short amount of time. And then at the end of Christmas period, they come and collect it and replant them. And then they carry on growing. And then next year, someone else have them. There's even people that pay more to have the same tree over the years. That's beautiful, but might not be affordable for everyone. So I haven't tried. I wanted to do it this year, but I got it too late. So you actually have to have your act together a bit and get ready a bit early to do that. But it's quite a nice idea, and hopefully we'll get more. If more people do it, I imagine it will be more affordable, particularly locally, if more local people do it. The other things that you can do is making sure that you buy, sustainable grown trees. So that's something that you need to pay attention. It makes sense. I think more and more companies are now, doing that. And if you have a synthetic tree, which is my case, you need to use it for as long as you can. So I've read that 10 years, it takes 10 years for your tree to, for the carbon footprint of your synthetic tree to be, yeah. So in comparison with like buying a tree every year, it will take 10 years for your tree to make sense sustainably. So I've got another, I think, 3 years, and I will probably celebrate the anniversary of our tree then. But we love our tree, and if you don't have a synthetic tree, but you would like to buy one, look on Gumtree, eBay. There's always trees around. People selling trees, particularly after Christmas. So, try to buy one secondhand, and then, it's, you're doing a better thing even. And that's take me to presents. So presents, there's a lot of things that you can do. Again, depends on budget, it depends on so many things, but buying sustainably, ethically, it's not just about buying something new. You can definitely have a greater environmental or less environmental impact by buying secondhand. So it's something that if you don't mind, you could consider it. So consider. So I bought my kids for the past few years secondhand toys, and they've been so happy, because at the end of the day, for them, it's all about having something new to them, not new that's just been made, out of the factory. So I know it's not for everyone, and it's something to think about, but there's so many toys, so many clothes, so many things that are pretty new out there, on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Gumtree, and so many other websites. And it's not too late to shop now, actually. Like, I'm a pretty last minute person, and I managed to find like amazing things last year, amazing deals as well, because it's so much cheaper. So there's really something that, if you take one thing from this workshop, it's really like, consider what you're buying. Is it going to last? Is it something that you really need, or that the person that you buy it for needs? Or is that person actually going to enjoy receiving this present? Often we buy things out of pressure, thinking that, you know, we have to. But this is really something to be done collectively to actually, you know, not feel that pressure and maybe, you know, take some distance and think, okay, hang on, I don't know that person that well, and it might not be a present for that person. If I buy her something she doesn't need, she might be, you know, in trouble because she might not know what to do with it, having to dispose of it, you know, and so it might put that person under stress, and that's not what we want around Christmas. We want to do something nice for others. So if you really want to get someone something, think about getting experiences or services. Maybe do something for someone. I've asked my husband to paint my bathroom, well, the bathroom. You know, it's silly, but you know, that's what I really want. I want the bathroom to be painted, and you know, I don't want him to buy me, you know, something I have too much of, like clothing or whatever. And he agreed, and that makes me really happy to think that he would do that for me. So think a bit outside the box. Excuse the pun. Yeah, and you know, and yeah, think about what you can get to someone that might not be something you buy. Yeah, and try to be, you know, just not feeling the pressure. Maybe you actually by not buying or sending a card to someone, you actually relieve them of their own pressure. So you're actually doing them a favor by saying, no, actually this year we're not doing cards for everyone, because why, you know, it's produced so much waste. And the people around you might think, oh, thank God for that, I was thinking the same thing, you know, and you know, so that's quite important, you know, to think about those things. Okay, so we're running a bit late, which I thought we will. I'm so sorry. I'm going to quickly show you ways to wrap presents. And I hope that you had managed to finish, maybe not finish, but almost finished your bauble while I was talking. So I don't know if you managed to get some fabric today, but all you need to do, try furoshiki, which is the beautiful Japanese art of wrapping out of fabric. You will need a square piece of fabric, and that could be, you know, like a scarf or a napkin. So it could be something that already exists in around you, or it could be a piece of fabric that you have or that you buy specifically. And basically, the idea of like wrapping with fabric is that you create a reusable type of wrapping. It might not be for everyone and for every present, because if you give a present to someone you hardly know, it might be like very costly and, you know, bit weird, but definitely works for your own household and your own family, where you know that people are going to unwrap and then that's it, you know, you can keep the fabric and wrap again. But it's also very lovely for good friends and good family, that you know that you can invest a bit more money, but you want to explain the concept, so they will then keep that cloth to wrap again, and it's kind of like this sharing economy that you create by doing this, and I think that's lovely. But again, you know, up to you to know who you're giving presents to and who it works and who it doesn't work. So let me show you my little sample of wrapping. So I will just quickly show you this one. So this is also the fact that you can upcycle. I mean, you don't have, I don't buy wrapping paper anymore, because we have so much paper that comes from, you know, deliveries and other paper. You can use, you can make really lovely one. 1 year I did all mine out of newspaper. So, you know, you can do that as well. So Upcycle Paper is a good one. And you can decorate it with, like, you know, nice pieces of natural materials again, and you know, wrap it with like an interesting ribbon or whatever. You can really create lovely thing out of trash, upcycled trash. So the furoshiki method is basically wrapping different objects. Oh yeah, and this one as well, with fabric. I find that square pieces it's much easier, no matter what the size of your present. Obviously, if you have a very big, large present, you want a large piece of fabric. So it's probably more suited for smaller presents. So I'm wrapping this bulb box that I had, sorry. And basically, so what you want to do is to make some room in front of you. Sorry, I've got so much mess now. And place your fabric in kind of a diamond way. So, and you want to place the, if you're wrapping something square or book or a small box, in the middle, with the fabric being like in a diamond shape in front of you. And then you want to take the point that's in closer to you and wrap it all around and tuck it underneath. And you're gonna take the other side and wrap it around. So if you want to be very neat, you can just create like a fold. So it's like nice and neat on that side. And then with the other two sides, you're going to put them together and create a nice knot. And that keeps everything together, and you want to be quite firm and, you know, pull quite tightly. So there's no, you know, there's no gap. And there you go. So you should definitely try this. Try with tea towels, whatever you have. It's really easy. And, you know, you can wrap many square things with this technique. So again, I do it again. You can also start by putting it like a bit closer here, and then kind of wrap the book or wrap the box a few times, keeping it tight. And again, take those sides and wrap. So you can experiment. There's a lot of folds that you can find on internet. If you type furoshiki techniques, there's a lot of different ways. I mean, Japanese are masters and they are very creative. They have a lot of creative ideas for wrapping different objects. So that's the one I prefer for wrapping something square. But if you're wrapping something a bit awkward to wrap, like let's say a jar. So here I've got a jar of tea. That's a nice kind of present. Yeah, just think about what you can make for others. That doesn't cost too much, but I will make people happy. So I make my own kind of tea, forage, nettle, and citrusy spill tea. So that's something that, you know, might be suitable for people that like drinking tea. You could make blends of different tea. You could make like some face scrubs or whatever, like if you're quite crafty and like making your own things. So for this, this kind of like awkward or round present, you can, so again, you're putting your cloth kind of like sideways in a diamond shape in front of you, and you're going to start with the side points, and you're going to knot them quite tightly on top. So it helps to be two to do that. Someone holding, little hands holding here, and then you do a double knot, and then you take the other side and you do the same thing, and it comes at the top. And you can even make like a small cute handle if your piece of cloth is big enough. Mine is not quite big enough, but I will try to show you. Yes.
What size is that piece of cloth?
Cloth. Very good question. Thank you. So I think that if you start with like a 30 to 40 centimeters side cloth, it's good size for most small presents. This one is a 35, I think. But yeah, I find 40 is good. Is good if you want to make this. You know, kind of like handle. You might want something a little bit bigger. And you can do that for bottles as well. I find that really nice. So if you're buying like a bottle for someone, even if it's not for Christmas, actually, it's a really cute way to actually take it around. So again, this cloth is a bit bigger. It's probably like a 50, it's a scarf, so it's like a 50 by 50. So you've got more room to, you know, to create the handle. And for a bottle, the technique is a little bit different. Let me show you. Thank you for bearing with me. I know that it was supposed to last only 1 hour. So, okay, so you want to, okay, open your cloth in front of you. So yeah, so that's much bigger actually. That's probably even 60, this one. So yeah, so scarves, if you find like cheap charity shops, cheap scarves in charity shop, they make like perfect wrapping because they're not too thick, so they're really easy. So for this one, you start again. So this one, you put it straight, like the square in front of you, and you start bringing the two sides together at the top, like we did before. So again, that helps to hold it at the top. And then with the other two sides, you twist them around quite tightly. I'm gonna try to do that on my own. And you just kind of wrap them around and not at the front of the bottle this time. So it works better with my bottle is square. If you had like a round bottle, it's perfect. And then you can wrap it all around, and that's also a good way to protect the bottle. So that's quite handy. So you don't necessarily have to put like the bottle in paper first. If your fabric is thick enough, that creates like a protective wrapping as well. So you go. So there's many techniques that you can check depending on what you want to wrap. But this is an initiation to furoshiki. I hope that was useful. And just to conclude very, very briefly and answer your question, it's all about really thinking about the impact of what you do. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's buying something, why am I buying it? What's going to happen to this object, at the end of its life? How long is it going to last? And I know it's a bit stressful. It's a lot to think about, but it's so, so important, because I think we are under a lot of pressure. The planet is under pressure, but we ourselves are under a lot of pressure this time of the year, and we don't need to. So this is what I think is quite valuable for us as well, as much as for the planet, to be considerate.